Alright, guys. So, I'm going to start making my DD on AMC real simple, to the point. Everything that's happened in my life has been super personal, and it's been hard for me not to take it that way. I've basically said I can't talk to my family no more, and I believe it. Like, until my life is perfect and I have everything I've ever dreamed of, or until they admit that they are wrong for picking the wrong side, because they did pick a side. Like, I just can never talk to them again. So, things have gone crazy in my life, and it all kind of started with this stuff, the AMC GME squeeze. I loved GME for a minute, but what it's become, GME, Super Stonk, Reddit, I don't know how many people are still keeping tabs on what's going on, but it's not pretty. And so I just want to kind of give where I'm coming from, how I see it all going down. I'm not going to go into the details right now. I'm actually just going to read you guys the bio that I wrote. And then tomorrow I'm probably going to go over it, and I'm going to maybe do a couple hours where I go over every news article, everything that kind of backs up what I wrote here. If you like what I had to write and you're able to listen to what I wrote and it all makes sense, then go ahead and like the video and share it. Let's get as many people here in what's actually going on with AMC and how they can make this world a better place. That's what you're finding here. So, I've been a long-time AMC investor, influencer. This whole movement has been a huge burden on my life. I've lost my family, my church, my wealth, almost everything since joining the Apes February 1st. I was right about so many things, sometimes within days, weeks, and background antics from mainstream media heads trying to control the narrative. So basically, I've just been calling out things left and right for a long time, and it's really impossible to argue that I'm not seeing exactly how it is. The more you watch, the closer you watch, where you see where the money was traded and how it was traded, it all becomes real obvious that they were attempting to stop the price from going up at certain times. And if you look at how they handled GME, especially in February, it might have given you an idea of how they would have handled AMC. But they changed up, basically, GME, they let go up a ton of percent all at one time. In AMC, it's never done that since January. Where GME it did, but AMC, they always diluted just to where it gone up 500% in 1 week at one time. Or sorry, in 2 weeks it went up 250% in 1 week, and then another 100% the week after. But the point is, the AMC people were not buying for an increase. They were buying for a squeeze, and a squeeze is when it glitches the market and it just moves up. So we'll get into that. Anyways, let me get back to this. The point I was getting at in there was I put a lot of work into this. I put a lot of hours into this. I was watching every news article. I was reading the real DD from Super Stonk and all of them. And everywhere I looked, I could just find something that they were doing where what they're promoting was infactual, was non-factual. And because it's non-factual, like, I can't support their cause for everything that they're saying. And so GME, in my opinion, has been hijacked. There's a lot of talk going on about it in Reddit, but I don't know if YouTube really talks about it. I think Trey's gotten into it a little bit, but I think AMC is the only place that you can be. It's the only place you should trust. It's where the dumb money is. And we'll get to that. Everything is much more simple than you can think when imagining the scope of fraud within the financial markets. Everything is 100% automated, designed to short the market through 100% liquidity of choices. What does that mean? What that means is, in order to short the market, in order to so you guys got to understand what naked selling is. Naked selling is more on the options than it is the stock. But the idea is everything that is selling is naked selling, because a stock can go up infinity. If you buy every single stock and then there's buy orders to buy this stock, but there are no stocks to sell, all the stocks have been purchased, there's no more left, that stock price will continue to rise until there's nobody trying to buy a stock, and then it will flatline. Okay? So if it flatlines, then basically everybody that bought into the options, that all of their wealth that they take is taken from society. So when the person that owned Oh, I probably got this wrong, but I want to say the New York Giants. No, it wasn't the New York Giants because it was a baseball team. There was a guy named, I think it was Ryan something. I don't really care. Anyways, maybe I'll go over it tomorrow when I read this again. He lost $2 billion, and everyone basically attacked him as shorting GME. And when GME went up, he lost billions and billions of dollars. But it was just because he had a fund, and they were connected to computers, and he was just divvied up a share of the market like all the other big money is in the world, and his was the first to go. So out of everyone in line of who loses the money first, he was the first one to lose money. But everybody's shorting the market. And so if one stock goes all the way up, eventually it takes everybody's money. So we will, I don't know exactly where I was getting with that, but you guys got to understand, that's what AMC is going to attempt. That's what the Moass is. That's what we're going for. Anyways, creating a universe where everyone buys one stock and there are options in the chain, and the second the stock is no longer available on the market, the stock will rise with no end in sight. Every dollar earned is a dollar lost from the market makers. Because the market makers own a large percent in all major stocks of the market, every dollar made in options forces them to sell positions in other companies, which is what will cause the market to crash. So if you look at when GME skyrocketed in February, it crashed the market. Obviously, when everything skyrocketed in January, it crashed the market. And so they've been trying to shake off this whole movement since it all went down, and a lot of people cashed out a lot of profits. But it's not over yet. I can promise you it's not over yet. And they can't do anything real in their world, no matter what they do, as long as this doesn't end, as long as the AMC Apes hold and they own more stock than what can allow dilution. GME is diluted how many times? They went from a 30 million float to a 68 million float in the last 9 months. They've been diluting and diluting and diluting, a little bit at a time, but it's because they say they're about to launch the greatest business in the world. Come on, people. This causes the market to crash. A majority of stocks, as the wealth is acquired by the options, the stock buyers would be able to cash out the options profit without fail and never be forced to own the stocks, never be forced to sell the stocks of the one stock the retail rallied together to own everything of. Everything of. So, AMC. Basically, you buy you put 90% of your money in stocks, 10% in options. You buy all the stock. That 10% of options is going to make more money than you're ever going to need to spend. But you now control the entire stock market with your AMC stock. Everything else is zero. You are AMC stock. Now, not everything else is zero. If you go find some stocks that don't have option chains in them, those probably won't go to zero. By doing this, stockholders would have to be prepared to be leaders responsible of putting the governments of all origin to the table to discuss how the stock market can be rebuilt to be a free and fair market, and the AMC stock being the hedge against society from here and forever. So, what you guys got to understand is crashing the American market will crash the Chinese market. Everything is leveraged together. They are all in on it. Okay, so it is one world government versus everybody. If you consider yourself everybody and you don't consider yourself a stormtrooper on the one world government, then you got to understand the only way to bring your government to your talking table is to send everything to zero and say you only build businesses off bonds from here on out. Or, if we're going to have a stock market, it's going to be a free and fair market. And then, you guys will be able to vote somebody to that position. Anyways, buying AMC is the force of reason and justice, as it is the company, retail investors, and myself have bled and fought for complete ownership. There is no other stock in the entire market that is owned outright by the float at the percent of 99% or more other than AMC. One of a kind, ladies and gentlemen. Through extreme targeted options buying on AMC, the dark pool was used to suppress the time and speed in which AMC price was elevated, which forced the majority of the owners have been forced to hold, which forced the majority of owners to have been forced to hold, knowing that one day there will be no more AMC shares to buy until it glitches the markets. That is the definition of a squeeze. Anything after that, short or gamma references, is just poor souls that didn't see what was coming. There are normal people every day shorting AMC because they don't believe in you. You better believe that. Gamma squeeze just matters who's buying as many options, right? And you better believe AMC has more options buying, more bullish option buying than any other stock for probably 9 months straight. I was going to say 12, but it's probably been 9 months straight more option buying on AMC than any other stock. They've been losing lots of money. Some people have been making lots of money. Anyways, we need to understand that in the dark pool is very important. The reason the dark pool percentage is so high is because there's more retail buying there's a finite number of shares. So think of you're the hedge fund, okay? You're the big money, and you're sitting there and you're saying AMC cannot go to the moon, but we can't dilute more shares, and we're sitting on this finite stack until they buy all of them. And they're pissed right now because every time the price has gone up, insiders sold out their positions to where insiders have no more positions. So they're pissed. Lots of people holding on out of spite and rage. Promise. Okay, so what they got to do is, as this volume's coming in, because they have a finite amount, hold on. So I think it's better said, there are so many people, 4 million investors. They said that back in June. It's still true today. They just verified it within the last 2 days. We'll look at that tomorrow. 4 million investors in the AMC stock. Every single day, you better believe there are new AMC investors that believe in what's happening here. And again, it's dumb money. This is the money that says, hey, you have to buy the stock because everybody in the world's buying this stock, and they've diluted us so many times they no longer own the stock. One day it's going to go up really, really high. Don't know when, but it has to happen. And so dark pool doesn't want people getting excited about AMC. So what do? They have the highest percentage of dark pool trading out of any stock in the whole world in AMC stock. And what does that mean? What that means is every time retailers are buying from at least certain brokers, I mean, in my opinion, it's probably all the brokers. Even if it's not going through dark pool, I would still imagine it's being suppressed. Maybe it's not. Maybe there are some good people out there that are like big money, but like for some reason, like just don't throw in the $50 million it would take to finish this anyways. Like one big burst of volume and this whole thing would be broken. But what I'm getting at is they are taking our shares. So actually, let's talk about a stock. How does a stock price move up? A stock price moves up by the number of shares that can be bought versus the number. Let's not even talk about that. It's the number of shares that can be traded at the price that it's at. So if there's nothing selling and nothing buying on a stock, it doesn't move. Right? You can go find tons of stocks. They just don't move because there's no one buying and there's no one selling. Well, when you come in, the way that I see it is that they are taking the dark pool as the retail investment comes into the stock. They use the dark pools to counteract. So let's say $5 of retail comes in, and let's say that was going to move the stock price up $1. They need to trade $10 of stock of selling to bring that $5 up to $1 value to a $5 up to a 10 cents value increase. So the stock that you just bought into is not pushing up the price because they just resold the same share 50 times to themselves to hurt the price of what you increased that price. And so there's a Michael Burry post about this. He did a whole mathematical illustration that shows the average stock is like a 5-to-1 ratio for dollar invested. If you look at how much the shares were when, so some short, the Iceberg Research shorts covered their shorts like 2 weeks ago. And if you look at the short percentage, that dropped from like 99 million shares shorted, or maybe, I think it was 108 million, down to the 88, is it 86 million now? Anyways, you get like 15 million shares. You times that by the AMC, stock price, and then you look at the market cap from when the AMC went up from like 36 to 40. And to me, it's like the exact same number. And so when I see Michael Burry say 5-to-1, like I feel like he's calculating the short interest there, and like that's what the short interest does per stock, and it's bringing down the market cap. Anyways, the point is, through the dark pools, they are using rapid fire of stocks. Every time you rapid fire of retail volume, they rapid fire back with stocks to suppress that magnification of the number. And they basically, in his article, he talks about how that could become a negative number. Now, if you're shorting the stock, you can't lose more, or if you're not shorting the stock, you can't lose more than what you invest. So 0 is the bottom. It's like a negative 0 or equal to always equals 0. But, yeah, I think that number that Michael Burry talks about, so he talks about how the stock market's a parabola because that factor can go to, every dollar you invest could go to 100-to-1. And that they can actually, through the buying and selling, suppress and almost like, think of like an accordion, suppress and compress or elevate how much they want that stock to go up with the amount that they're investing. So they could take a very small amount of money and elevate the price of a stock because nobody else is manipulating the stock. And it's really just up to their computer algorithms of whatever they set it to manipulate that price. But with AMC, what they've done is to manipulate the price on the downside. I truly believe that. And that's why every time they crash the price of AMC, it comes back stronger. I don't think AMC can physically go below 30 unless they were at their very last ammo and they know that like in the next 72 hours they lose everything. So they try like a desperate thing where they sell all of their ammo at one time to drop it to $1 a share. But then like in 10 minutes we buy every last share there is and we go to the moon. Like that, if you see a drop just massive numbers, then you know it's time to buy because it's going right back up. Unfortunately for the GME apes, Reddit, like I pay attention to Reddit just because that's where this all really started. Anyone that doesn't think this started at Reddit, you didn't see what happened to Wall Street Bets. Wall Street Bets was united around GME and AMC. Literally 2 million people doing 150,000 upvotes on every single post. GME and AMC. 2 million people. All of a sudden it goes to 8 million people and it went 100% anti-GME and AMC. Now they allow the every other message of GME or AMC and you get a couple people that jump in, but it's just nobody talks about it anymore. Anyways, they need to realize that the movement in the stock is with the dumb money and not the intelligent money. So everyone in GME, they remind me of the South Park episode where they all think they're so fucking cool and so fucking smart that they're like their farts smell good and they like sniff their own farts. Like I swear to God, that's who they are. Like no matter, like they're close their ears and la la la. And that's not what this movement was. they're preaching to the wrong crowd. Their crowd's not that big. This was a dumb money thing of we can't lose if we stick together, and it's us versus them, and GME became something where they started repelling anyone that was even remotely combative to their official story, to their official narrative, whether it be DRS. If you use computer share, I feel sorry for you. Anyone that believes in the computer share DD is just not paying attention. These people that are guiding the GME movement are pathetic. There is no such thing as a synthetic share. Everything is quickly resolved. The squeezes was proof that the volume was coming in and there was no shares left to sell. That volume is no longer coming in. They have shares left to sell. This is not an infinite volume thing. Anyone speaking infinite volume is a shill. It's a fact of life. There is no DD that the apes will ignite around behind, buy it, and there is no other DD the apes will ignite around behind, buy it, and buy it now. But buy it and buy it now. And so this is the kind of thing where, like, when the price is skyrocketing, like, people want to get in, the FOMO. Unfortunately, this DD is not real. Like, the only way to make this happen is for you people to call the people you know and trust and be like, look, you gotta buy AMC. It's the only way. And the value of doing it is so much more than money, which is why people should be about it. It doesn't make sense that people aren't about it. Anyways, we'll get that later. That is all this ever was. The AMC is the only place where the tension is alive. Extreme dark pull volume to continue to elevate the factor which the dollar raises inside of commodity pricing. AMC is, by dark pull math, the proof that every dollar in AMC has a minimum effect on the price increase in stock because the ammo they have to withhold its price is finite. Because AMC is the first stock to deny dilution price increase not once but twice, including after the supposed news report of spectacular squeeze. So basically everyone's saying the squeeze happened in June, but we denied dilution before June, and then after June, when the price went up, they came and asked us for even less shares in their dilution and say they're going to do something with 25 million shares, and we said no. One day we're going to own every share. How about no? Stop selling your shares is what we said. We want you to stop selling your shares. So I hate Reddit AMC stock because they always love, like, if you talk bad about the Aaron, you'll get banned off AMC stock. And that is, Aaron has done nothing good for the stock ever. He's a horrible human being. The same people that pulled the plug on you is Aaron's best friends. Oh, man. The dumb money was smart enough to see the dilution was real and insulting. GME best DD is that they recruited staff from Amazon and other tech wigs to replicate their businesses. And basically AMC is trying to say that they could be the next Amazon. GME doesn't realize that without Amazon commercial square foot real estate, they have nothing, and their small real estate space become a liability. GME doesn't know what to do with their buildings. They're trying to do online gaming sales, but then limiting yourself to gaming makes you even more setback as a competitor for pricing to consumer. It costs GME more money to get the game to a client than it does for Amazon to get the game to a client. Like, you better believe Amazon is cutting out GME out of that equation like they cut everyone else out. I must admit, I too was allured by the idea that Ryan Cohen could be a magical mind ready to harness the potential of society through the gaming community and bring people together to make a business a voice of the people rather than just another business. The only way to do this is to turn your back on the money and make your business about the people. Let people invest in giving the lowest of people free medical, living, life, training to become their best selves until they are ready to take on the world themselves without a crutch. Like, I don't care if you start with the homeless people. I don't care if you start with, like, an American Idol bullshit. But, like, this needs to become, like, the fucking trust fund for America of just the people that we say, let's give this guy a try. Like, because they went on to the AMC fucking website where they say, hey, people, I'm somebody that's looking for donations, yada, yada, yada. And people just get to vote for who they like. And that divvies up some type of fund within the stock. Like, one day when AMC stock crushes everything else and everything else is zero and AMC flatlines at $1 billion a share, I don't care what the number is. The number stops when everything else hits zero. That's when the number stops. When we can no longer, like, it really wouldn't even stop then. It really wouldn't even stop then. Oh, man. This is, so hold on. The only way to be the voice, the CEO of the stock of everybody coming together is to create a platform where everybody coming together gets to, like, have this universe of this world that they get to live in because they bought all the stock. And again, American Idol. I don't care if it's your fucking football, like, start football teams within it. Like, everything becomes like a YouTube reality channel and the apes just fuck with the apes and nobody else. Like, do you know how popular that would become? Do you know how many people would buy into the stock because they want to be part of this community? And it becomes a giant online platform. It becomes a giant, like AMC movie theaters all over the place. What could they do with their square footage? Come on, people. So much to do in this world. And we talking about movies. But I fucking hate that they're talking about crypto. Alright, so this is what AMC... Dire warning to those who have made it this far. Your AMC executives are trapping you with cryptocurrency. It is not proven and vetted platform worthy of your thoughts. It is proven to be a dysfunctional shadow market of currency. The things that they say they got 1-to-1 USD currency on... They bought U.S. treasuries on, but then they even started making loans to China. If you don't think that Evergrande crisis is getting worse, you're not paying attention. If there's anybody out there that does like dates, like I got in the back of my mind a little hopeful date that they say that 30 days after you miss a bond payment is when it actually becomes due. And so you get a 30-day grace period. And that 30th day for Evergrande missing their bond payment is going to be on October 23rd, which is a Saturday. So that would suggest that if the market's closed on Saturday, we wouldn't see it until the 25th on Monday. So cross your fingers for October 25th. Yeah, I don't know. I think you guys need to find a way to get rid of the CEO you have now. Like, I feel like there shouldn't even be a CEO. Just let the locals figure out the local theaters and just stalemate the fucking business. Minimum dollars spent every single day. Keep exactly what we have and wait till the stock to finish what it's doing. Fire the CEO and just make AMC be a flatline company until the stock does what it does. And then after that, when we own every single share and we cash out our options for our giant profits, we now get a turn to the fucking world leaders and say, listen, motherfuckers, you guys like your stock market? Well, if you want to keep playing with it, you got to convince us to sell our AMC back into the market. And then we'll sell up until a point where our market cap is always larger than the rest of the stock market. Fuck everybody else. That's what the ape movement's about. Apes for apes and nobody else. I haven't gone over any articles. I'm going to try to go over all this stuff again tomorrow. And I'm going to try to go over articles, Michael Burry posts. Really everything that I've just been looking at from my own phone. Whether it's like talking about China Evergrande on YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. So I'll just kind of bounce around at all the things that I seen that I thought were interesting. Alright guys, well I'll talk to you later.